So for this demo, I'm just going to talk to you guys real quick about how to start some arms in the head and maybe link those together. So for the arms, same thing as the legs. What we're going to do is make sure we click off our layers, nothing selected, go to your pen tool, and then go ahead and just create what you think you want your arms to kind of look like. All right, I just have a stroke, black stroke, and no fill. One thing that you can do here, let's go ahead into our arms. I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to turn on the path keyframing like we did before. I'm going to maybe call this arm R. And then a couple other things just going into stroke here. I'm going to go in and I'm just going to change this to a round cap so that the arms are actually, I'll show you up here, so the arms are actually rounded versus being straight. Then I'm going to go, and so the arm's kind of done. So if I want to put a sleeve on him, so I'm going to go and I'm going to duplicate the arm. And this is similar to what we did yesterday. Go into arm. I'm going to go into that path. And let's kind of get this set up like we did. I'm going to alt-click on the stopwatch for the new arm. Link it. And I'm going to close that up. I'm going to call this sleeve 1. Remember the sleeve, I want it to match the color of my shirt, or I'm sorry, the body. And I'm also going to add a trim path. And I'm going to go to the trim path, and I'm going to mess with some of those numbers here. Alright, and let's see what happens if I go to stroke for that one and change it to butt cap. Okay, so it's okay. The only thing you're seeing is you get that little bit of red at the top. So actually, I believe the way to fix that is to duplicate the sleeve again and do a round cap on that sleeve copy, and then in the trim pass for that, move that up. There you go. So what I'm doing there is just kind of filling in that gap. You can kind of see it. Oops. So that the rounded actually fills up the whole arm, and then here the arm just has that sleeve, and then maybe let's see. I guess I could have done this earlier, but bump up the stroke. 64 stroke. 64. That looks a little bit better, a little more, I guess, realistic. Okay, so now you can do more stuff to the arm if you want to. You can put like an armband on them. We're not going to talk about doing hands or anything. Then just real carefully, we're going to call this whole layer arm R, and then I'm going to, I guess I should have named the other one, but that's the main whole thing there. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this upwards and then move it. And I'm going to also, you see my anchor points kind of floating out here. So probably for both of these, I'm going to go to layer, transform, and center anchor point. That way, anchor point is not floating out there. Actually, you know, think about it now. For both of these, I probably want to go into anchor point, and I want to get that anchor point set up on the corner of the arm. Okay. So both these guys are going to be kind of floating out there. There you go. Alright. Then go ahead and get your arms placed where you wanted them. There's some other things we can do with the arms, but I think this is kind of like, you know, it works. Alright, there we go. And then, so now I kind of have the guy's body. And last but not least, I'm going to just add a head. So you can kind of, you could self, you can make it yourself with the pen tool. I'm going to turn that off. Alright, and there he is. We got our character. Now, I'm going to go ahead and title that one. That's going to be head. Okay, so everything's kind of set up. You could, the one thing with with the head maybe to do would be get your anchor point set up where you want that thing to swivel on. So I might drop that down to the anchor point so the head has the anchor point on the bottom, and then just go move it up. And that way, if the head moves, it swings on that point. But the big thing here is I want to link everything together now. So we're going to go back and we're talking about this little pick whip, which is that little spinny dealy right there. And that's referencing this statement here, which is a parent thing. So basically everything we're going to have parent to the body. So the body's right here. So I'm going to go to my head and I'm going to pick whip it down to the body. It's going to change. So it's saying that the body is the master control for all these things. And now, if I move the head's going to move, but if I move the body, everything's going to move. So the head will kind of, function independently if you're just moving it, but if you move the whole body, everything will come with it kind of in place. And then tomorrow what we'll talk about is how to keyframe all this movement, which is not real difficult, pretty similar to what we've been doing before. We'll get our characters running.